So we should be united. But how are we united? Well, one simple way for us to be united is for us all to take our brains out and to have no opinions at all, or as few as possible, and to be foggy so that we've got nothing left to disagree about. That's obviously daft, and you will probably know that we can all still find something to fall out about. So that's not going to work. The second way to be united is to build walls like a box and to define how we behave, and then we colour inside those lines. And we have a set of rules or behaviour, and we all look like clones, and we all behave the same way, talk the same way, think the same way. In many ways, that was my experience after I graduated. I worked as an accountant, and our unity as a firm was not because we loved each other. It was because we behaved in a certain way. We kept to certain standards, professional standards, but we looked the same, we acted the same, we memorised the same tax rules, shed loads of rules that told you how to behave. And there was a box that we lived in. But the gospel is not about keeping rules. It's not about looking like clones. It's not living inside a box. I mean, you may be aware that there are other major world religions where all over the world they look the same, their followers dress the same, and their scriptures are only really scriptures if they're in one single language. And even in Ireland, some Christians use the Bible this way, and it leads to a kind of a cramped, two-dimensional, desiccated, grey gospel. A subculture of clones, but that is not what gospel unity looks like. I don't want the CUs to look the same. We definitely don't want all Christians to look the same. And so you see, gospel unity is not because we have no opinions, and gospel unity is not, secondly, because we live inside a box. What does gospel unity look like? It looks like being utterly secure on stuff that matters, and then relaxed about stuff that doesn't. In other words, we are utterly clear about the things of first importance, as Paul puts it in 1 Corinthians 15. And the key is that we stay so close to Jesus, so close to the cross, that the other stuff that we disagree on, which we have legitimate opinions on, they sort of go out of focus. It's a bit like taking a photograph of somebody, and the stuff that matters, the person you're focusing on, Jesus, is sharp and clear in the center of the frame, and the other stuff you put in the background, and you have to keep in the background, and there's stuff that matters a lot to you, but you choose to keep it in the background, out of focus, so that Jesus is front and center and sharp and clear for everybody. And you see, the more secure you are in the message of the cross, well, actually, the more creative you can be at getting it out. The more joyfully fixated you are on Jesus, the more you can give yourself away for the sake of others on campus. And the more secure you are in Jesus, the more you can be yourself, and I can be myself. I can be the person God has made me to be. Because the more radically secure you and I are in the truth of the gospel, the more we can get along with people who are different from us and work out things in different ways. And all this ties in with what with what Jesus has been saying in John's Gospel up to this point, this night before the cross. Jesus has talked an awful lot about truth in these chapters and the truth setting you free. And Jesus has said, I am the truth. And he says, I will send you the Spirit of truth. And the Spirit of truth will teach you all things about me. And the Spirit of truth will point to me. And the Spirit of truth will speak my words to you. In other words, you may be seeing a pattern here, but there is a Spirit of truth, the same one who inspired the Bible, who breathed it out, who will instruct our hearts into truth about Jesus. So, what is our unity built on as CUs, as Christians? Is it built on having no opinions at all? No. Is it built on living inside a box where everyone's a clone? No. It is based on truth, on the truth that Christ died for our sins in accordance with the Scriptures, that he was buried, that he was raised on the third day in accordance with the Scriptures. And the more clear you are on the truth of the gospel, the more generous you can be to others. And the more clear you are on the heart of the gospel, the more freedom you have to live it out. And that's the adventure you have this year as you lead your CU. You're not clones. Don't look for clones. You will have strong opinions on stuff. But Focus on the truth of the gospel, on the heart of the gospel. Be secure, be united in that. And that will give you great freedom and joy in mission for the sake of your friends and for God's glory.